Grand Taro is an island paradise in the Caribbean. Long ago, Taro was a safe haven for pirates and smugglers, a tradition it carries on to this day, as a tax shelter for the suspiciously rich, and home to Antoine Morant, banker to the Magia, AIM, the Red Skull, and an endless array of the worst this world has to offer. His pockets are lined with blood. Now, it's time to settle his accounts with God, for this is where he answers to the Wraith. The Wraith jumps on the hood of the escort vehicle and begins to pound on the glass. The car still speeds around the narrow mountain trails. About a yard to their left is a 50-foot fall down to the ocean below. The Wraith jams a gas grenade into the vent of the vehicle and leaps off of the moving car and into a Jeep following not far behind. Driving the Jeep is Carly Cooper. The Wraith tells Carly that she successfully got Antoine with her fear gas. Her suggestion is that they play it cool. He's running scared and he's bound to slip up. That's when they'll nail him. Carly refuses. They've been at this for too long to risk losing a lead now. This is it. They get this guy, and they've got Spider-Man right where they want him. Back at Horizon Labs, there are only 15 minutes left before the temporal event. Crackling yellow energy erupts from the building. Near the time door, the 4 Horizon workers, Max Modell and his legal counsel, Hector, all examine the future Spider-Man from 2099. Uatu Jones is the first to speak up, stating that Otto just killed him. He'll be fine, Otto tells the boy. And besides, the lout had it coming. What he had was a solution to our current predicament, Max huffs. Horizon Labs is set to explode, and you just rendered the one person who could save us unconscious. Watch your tone, Modell. None of this is my doing. Grady interrupts. Spidey's right, boss. It's Tiberius Stone's fault. He sabotaged us. He made all this happen. It was months ago. I've been to the past. I've seen it. 3 different times he's messed with our stuff. And now, all of that, working together, it's created this, well, time bomb. Spider-Man asks Grady to explain the events for him. He unlocked the safeties on Parker's alpha energy generator, playing with the fabric of space. He recalibrated my time door, which explains these chronotons, the fabric of time. And he tampered with Sajani's artificial vibranium, which adds an alien harmonic frequency to the mix. Max wonders aloud how they can ever contain this mess. Child's play, Otto tells him. First, Miss Jaffrey will need a sample of that metal you've made. Sajani nods her head. It's reverbium. I'll get some from my lab. Max gasps. What? You promised me you destroyed all of it. Unbelievable. Don't chide the girl, Modell. She was being resourceful, and it will save us all. Spider-Man looks at Uatu. You, Jackson, uncouple those regulators from the Alpha device and bring them here. Uatu obliges. Bella, however, chooses to focus on the Spider-Man from 2099. Bella full-heartedly believes that he will be the key to saving them. Agreed, Max says. He's the Spider-Man we should be listening to. Otto laughs. Ha! Understand this. In all of space and for all of time, I am the superior Spider-Man. Otto turns his attention towards Tiberius. And what none of you fools seem to realize is, this man is the key. Tiberius Stone. You never intended to be at the heart of the cataclysm, did you, Stone? I had no idea that what I did would lead to this. How could I? Unimportant, Spider-Man tells him as he begins to unwrap Ty from his bindings. All that matters is that you are familiar with the tech. You will assist in constructing a counter device, or suffer the consequences with the rest of us. Max leans forward, reminding Otto, Spider-Man, wait. There's one more person we need. Your friend, Parker? Why? Otto yells. Because of Sajani's reverbium. If we're right, this is all happening because the fabric of space and time is being subjected to its destructive vibrations. And Parker was the only one who could solve the equation to cancel them out. He pulled that off his first day at Horizon. It's why I gave him the job. You're his friend. Didn't he tell you? Of course he did. Otto frantically accesses everything he can remember from Peter Parker's history. He scans through Peter's childhood, Aunt May, Uncle Ben, science camp. Max taps on Otto's shoulder. Well, did he mention the equation? He asks innocently. Quiet! I'm thinking! Otto snaps. Aunt May, Uncle Ben, Aunt May's death? No. Uncle Ben's death. Defying the impossible. Gwen Stacy, Gwen's death. Mary Jane, his childhood. Kraven the Hunter, his death. It doesn't make sense. Otto may have purged all of Parker's memories, but he can still recall the ones he's already accessed. The equation, it could be in one of them. He just needs to think. It might be in one of the few impressions Otto still possesses. Or maybe it's lost. Spider-Man, Max asks again, this time shaking Otto by the shoulder. Not now! The chronotons are building in intensity. We're literally running out of time. I almost have it. Just need another second. Second? Max repeats in confusion. Spidey, you spaced out. You've been at it for 8 minutes. What? Otto jumps to his feet and examines the area. In the time he was out, Max, Tiberius, and the others quickly rigged together a machine to produce a counter frequency that will cancel out the time implosion. All they need now is for someone to punch in the correct frequency. Parker's equation, Otto mumbles. At that moment, Miguel groans himself awake. Parker? He stutters as he stumbles to his feet. But Parker's here. Max quickly jumps in, stammering. He must be confused. Knocked to the head and all. Spider-Man, you can do this, can't you? Of course, Otto says triumphantly. If Parker could solve this, then so can he. He is Otto Gunther Octavius, and his intellect is superior. Otto jams in a couple of buttons, and the machine instantly hits him with a buzzer. He tries again. Another buzzer. Max asks him, You don't have it, do you? I would if you stopped blathering on. I have this. Max then turns to everyone else and orders them to get out now. Tiberius leads the charge. You heard the man, out of my way! Suddenly, Miguel grabs Tiberius by his collar and pulls him back into the room before pinning him with a chokehold. Miguel tells him, No, not you, Stone. Not this time. Let go! Tiberius squirms. Don't you get it? Everything that little hologram woman of yours said is coming true. We failed. Horizon's gonna explode. We didn't change history. Do you mind? I'm working, Otto says, still jamming at the buttons on the machine. There are 3 minutes left before the temporal event, and Miguel and Tiberius are going to stand there until it happens. Miguel will change history. He will make a better future. One without Alchemax, without stones, his family, his friends, everyone he's ever known. Miguel is confident that a new timeline will take its place, and they will all be fine. 2 minutes left until the temporal event. The chronal energy that once seeped from Horizon Labs now bursts into the sky. Layers of spiraling clouds wrap around the beams of light. Max Modell and the employees all make it to the parking lot to watch it all unfold. And so does Mayor J. Jonah Jameson, wondering what these power-mad Poindexters have done now. Just tell me, is this it? The big one? Are you about to blow up my city? Max, keeping his eyes on the destruction, tells Jonah, There's still hope, sir. Spider-Man's in there. He could still save us. The mayor rolls his eyes. Perfect. Inside the lab, with 1 minute to go, Otto continues to plug more formulas into the system. Ah, I see what you did, Parker. The reverbium is an imperfect vibranium. You need to express that imperfection in your equation, like so. I knew I'd figure it out. After all, I am... The buzzer sounds. Inferior. Otto cries out in his distress as the machine begins to fade away piece by piece into the blinding light. Soon, Otto goes along with it, and everything else in the room. Then, the hallway. Then, the entirety of Horizon Labs. The chronoton energy is pulled inward towards the epicenter of the building and pulls everything in with it. All that is left are the sewage pipes underneath. A perfectly controlled implosion. Just a few moments prior, Miguel came to his senses and decided to save himself. And by extension, Tiberius Stone. Ha! Tiberius cheers. Knew that'd work. But what about our Spider-Man? Max asks. Jameson huffs. We could only be so lucky. Trust me, I've been here too many times. But he was in there when it... I'll believe he's gone when I see his wall crawler corpse. Maybe not even then. In the future, year 2099, the chronoton energy begins to dissipate. Everything is returning to normal. The elderly Tyler Stone jumps up from his chair, victorious. He's back to the Tyler Stone they all know and love. All that remains is to retrieve their Spider-Man back from the heroic age. Tyler lifts up his hover chair and hurls it at the time travel device, shattering it and disrupting the time gate. Now, Miguel is trapped in 2013 with his ancestor, who he can do absolutely nothing to. Miguel showed his hand. Both stones know he won't do anything to harm Tiberius, not without risking everything he cares about back home. Tiberius Stone is untouchable. Tiberius struts away, saying, "So long, Max. Enjoy your hole in the ground and all your numerous lawsuits. I've got places to be." Later that day, the Oscorp building is undergoing construction. Inside the building, within the office of Liz Allen, her, Mason Banks, and Tiberius Stone all raise their glasses for a toast to their first step in this bold new endeavor, the foundation of this all-new mega corporation. Liz Allen's father's company, Allen Chemical, merged with her son's holdings in Oscorp, and the intellectual properties Tiberius helped them acquire from Horizon Labs. Gentlemen, I give you Alchemax. Max Modell, Hector, and Grady return to the empty Horizon parking lot and wait. The mayor has a few last words for Max. He is not allowed to restart, rebuild, or anything in Jonah City again. Not while he's mayor. And if Max agrees to that, Jonah will pull some strings with his contact in Washington and get the feds off Max's back. But only because Marla, Jonah's now deceased wife, considered Max a friend. Max obliges and waits for Jonah to drive away before ordering Grady to bring out the new portable chronoton generator, telling him to be quick. This will be the last bit of science that Max does. But after all the good Spider-Man's done for the city, and all the times he saved them at Horizon, how could Max possibly do any less? The energy from the chronoton implosion is fading, but Grady can still find a life sign out there, and he knows it has to be Spidey. If he can reverse the polarity of the neutron flow, they should be able to retrieve him. Suddenly, a yellow beam of energy emerges from the small device and Spider-Man materializes in front of them. Distressed, his suit ripped apart and bleeding. "I'll find a way," he says. "You haven't heard the last of Dr. What?" He looks around. "Where am I?" Grady tells him, 2013, dude. We did it, Spidey. You're back. So, where'd you go, man? I don't know. Can't remember. Max approaches Otto. Spider-Man. Modell? From this point on, I consider us even. You go your way, I go mine. Agreed? Very well. And that goes for your friend, Parker, too. I was wrong about the two of you, on every level. I think it's better, for all of our sakes, if we consider this chapter closed. Otto returns home. He's been missing for 9 hours. An entire news cycle. So what now? Does he issue a press release? Contact the Avengers? Otto has never had to deal with this any of the times he died as Dr. Octopus. Honestly, it's going to be a chore. He checks his voicemail. 15 missed messages from Mary Jane, Aunt May, and Anna Maria combined. With a sigh, Otto decides to deal with the redhead first. Call Mary Jane Watson. Dear Lord, this woman needs to move on, and it's time I told her once and for all. Mary Jane, who is currently painting the interior of her club, sighs out, "Finally!" when she hears Peter's ringtone. She picks up the phone, and before he can speak, she says, "Look, don't say anything. I'm busy fixing up the club. You know, the one that burnt down? The one your pal Spider-Man couldn't be bothered to swing by? I was busy fighting crime, protecting the entire city. I sent fire trucks there. My bots reported that you were fine, and I did squat? I'm just making sure you're still alive, 'cause that's what people do. I don't want this responsibility anymore. Carly knows the score. She can check in on you. I get that stuff's happened to you ever since Sable died, since you almost killed Kirk Connors, since Ock kidnapped all of us. You've changed. And it's time I changed too. I'm moving on. So long, Tiger." Later, at the South Street Seaport, Max Modell and a number of former Horizon employees load up on his personal boat, the Zephyr. The only ones that stay behind are Uatu Jackson, his mother won't let him go, and Sajani Jaffrey. Max doesn't trust her, and he's running very low on trust right now. And that's it. They set sail into the night to start anew to new horizons. Sajani and Uatu wave goodbye to their former coworkers and friends. That's when Sajani gets a call from Otto. "What do you want?" she asks. "Actually, Miss Jaffrey, this is about what I can do for you. You're a resourceful woman, Sajani, and I believe I have an interesting proposition for you. Trust me, for every door that closes, another opens." Elsewhere, in Grand Taro, on the private compound of Antoine Morant, the Wraith and Carly Cooper have tracked down Antoine and kicked down the door to his office. He hastily runs to his desk and begins stuffing papers into his paper shredder in an attempt to cover his tracks. Carly shoots the paper shredder before rushing Antoine and snatching the slips out of his hand. "Alright, let's see what's so important that it's the first thing you'd want to destroy." "Please! You have no idea what he'll do to me!" Antoine pleads. Soldiers of fortune, vehicles, and scientific equipment purchased and shipped to Spider Island, straight from the secret bank account of Otto Gunther Octavius. Gotcha. Hey guys, so if you made it to this part of the video, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. Superior Spider-Man is by far my favorite story of all time. So yeah, thanks for letting me share this with you. But remember, we have our DCTV weekly recaps every Wednesday around 1 p.m. Pacific time. And after that, the episodes will be uploaded separately on our second channel, the OverLook Media. 3 words. So yeah, If you guys want to talk about TV, movies, or anything like that with us, go check out that channel. Until then, I hope everyone has a great rest of the night.